It was a Tuesday in Silver Creek, a seemingly ordinary day dawning over the quiet streets. A town where the rhythm of life was slow and predictable, where nothing ever happened, until it did. A place where everyone felt safe, secure in their routines. The sky was gray, a canvas of muted tones, the air heavy with the promise of rain, a premonition hanging in the atmosphere. Elara Vance, 24, a vibrant artist with a spirit as bright as her paintings, wore her signature yellow raincoat, a beacon of sunshine against the gloomy backdrop, as she left her cozy cottage at 8:15 a.m. Her neighbor, Mrs. Gable, a kind woman with a warm smile, waved. Elara smiled back, a genuine, friendly gesture. She was headed to the daily grind for her morning coffee, a ritual she cherished, walking alone with her thoughts, planning to return and lose herself in her art. Buster, her loyal dog and constant companion, stayed home, patiently waiting for her return. She'd just sold a painting, a triumph that filled her with joy, her spirits high, her future bright with possibilities. She texted her sister a photo of her latest work, brimming with excitement. "This one's going to be special." A message filled with hope and optimism. No hint of trouble, no sign of fear clouded her words. Elara was a fixture in Silver Creek, a beloved member of the community, a splash of color in a quiet world. But normalcy, as they say, is fragile, a delicate balance easily disrupted. As she walked down Maple Street, the familiar route to the coffee shop, her yellow coat stood out vividly against the muted gray of the day. Unbeknownst to her, she was walking toward a moment, a turning point, that would shatter the town's sense of safety and forever alter its peaceful existence. The familiar path, walked countless times before, was about to lead her somewhere no one could have imagined, a destination shrouded in mystery. The girl in the yellow raincoat, a symbol of hope and creativity, was about to vanish without a trace. In a town where everyone knew everyone's name and story, Elara was about to become a mystery, a question mark hanging over Silver Creek. And Silver Creek, once a haven of tranquility, would never be the same, forever marked by the enigma of the girl in the yellow raincoat. Elara's walk to the coffee shop was routine, until it wasn't. Security footage at 8:19 a.m. shows her pausing, then turning left onto Elm Lane, away from her usual route. Elm Lane was quiet, lined with old houses leading toward the abandoned textile mill. No friends, no shops, no reason to go there. The camera caught her last clear image, a yellow raincoat turning the corner. Police later scoured the route, searching for answers. She didn't look scared or hurried, just purposeful. No calls, no texts, no appointments. The detour made no sense. A drizzle began at 8:25, the streets empty, Elara a lone figure in the mist. The last confirmed sighting, a grainy image, then nothing. She seemed to vanish into the morning fog. Why did she turn? No one knows. That left turn was the first step into the unknown. The town would replay that moment endlessly, searching for meaning, but the answer remained out of reach. Elara's absence was first noticed by Stan, the coffee shop owner. By noon, her sister Chloe was calling, worried. Elara's phone went straight to voicemail. Chloe found Elara's cottage undisturbed, purse, keys, and Buster waiting by the door. Only Elara, her phone, and the yellow raincoat were missing. Police were notified at 4:30 p.m., initially calm, suggesting she might be with friends. But as night fell, unease grew. By midnight, it was a missing person case. Patrol cars searched the rain-soaked streets, officers knocking on doors. No one had seen her since the security footage. The first 24 hours slipped away with no sign of Elara. The town's sense of safety began to unravel. Fear crept in, quiet but persistent. The ordinary had become ominous. Silver Creek was holding its breath, and Elara Vance was still gone. The clock was ticking, and hope was fading. The mystery had only just begun. As local efforts stalled, the investigation escalated dramatically. The authorities recognized the need for additional resources and expertise. State police joined the search, meticulously combing Elm Lane and the surrounding areas. They extended their search to the old mill, a known local landmark, but their initial sweeps yielded nothing of substance. Detectives began interviewing potential witnesses, hoping to piece together any information that could shed light on Elara's disappearance. But the witnesses offered little of value. There was a possible flash of yellow seen near the old highway, and a blue sedan was spotted parked near the mill on the day Elara went missing. The mill, abandoned for decades and steeped in local lore, quickly became the central focus of the investigation. Its shadowed corners and hidden spaces presented a daunting challenge to the search teams. Search teams, aided by K-9 units, scoured every corner of the mill and its surrounding grounds. They hoped to pick up Alara's scent, but the trail always went cold, leaving investigators frustrated and concerned. Then, a chilling discovery offered a glimmer of hope, however faint. A small piece of yellow fabric was found snagged on a chain-link fence behind the mill, catching the attention of one of the searchers. Police radio crackled with tension as the discovery was reported. "We have something here," an officer reported. "It's yellow. Looks like it's from a raincoat." The fragment was all they had, a silent clue in a sea of uncertainty. No other evidence surfaced, and there was still no sign of Alara. The mill's ghost stories, once dismissed as folklore, now felt disturbingly real, casting a pall over the investigation. The town buzzed with rumors and speculation, fueled by fear and uncertainty, but concrete facts remained stubbornly scarce. The yellow fabric, now carefully preserved as evidence, whispered of Alara's presence, but it stubbornly refused to reveal the truth of her fate. The search pressed on relentlessly, but with each passing hour, hope began to dim, casting a shadow over the entire operation. The case was rapidly becoming a complex riddle with no apparent answer, leaving investigators increasingly frustrated and perplexed. Silver Creek was gripped by a potent mix of fear and morbid fascination, as the mystery surrounding Alara's disappearance deepened. The girl in the yellow raincoat had vanished, leaving behind only a trail of unanswered questions and mounting anxieties. The investigation was running dangerously low on viable leads, threatening to stall completely and leave Alara's fate unknown. And the silence surrounding her disappearance grew heavier with each passing day, amplifying the town's collective unease. The town waited with bated breath, desperate for a breakthrough that might bring Alara home and restore peace to their shattered community. With no physical clues, investigators turned to Alara's digital life. Her emails and social media were ordinary. Art, her dog, nothing secret. The last ping from her phone was at 8:28 a.m. near the old mill. Then, silence. A week later, a strange clue surfaced. Alara's cloud account uploaded a file at 8:31 a.m., 3 minutes after her phone's last signal. It wasn't a photo, but a 3-second audio recording, mostly static. Then, faintly, a high-pitched rhythmic chiming. Not a church bell, not a school bell. Something smaller, like a wind chime or music box. No shops or bells on Elm Lane, and the mill had none. The sound was a ghostly clue, baffling investigators. The digital trail ended there. The audio file became the case's most haunting mystery. It was a message from nowhere, a riddle in the static. The town obsessed over the sound, searching for meaning. But the answer remained elusive. Alara's digital ghost lingered, silent and unresolved. Months drifted by, each day blurring into the next. The initial flurry of activity surrounding Alara's disappearance began to wane. The case grew cold, the leads dried up, and hope faded with each passing sunset. The file sat gathering dust, a stark reminder of the unanswered questions. Then, a twist emerged from an unexpected corner. An amateur genealogist, captivated by the local history, stumbled upon a 1920s map of the mill's surrounding area. The map revealed a forgotten detail: a small structure nestled deep within the woods, a caretaker's cottage, long since disappeared from modern records. Galvanized by this new information, police organized a renewed search effort, meticulously following the aged map through the tangled, overgrown woods. Hidden beneath a thick blanket of ivy and obscured by decades of unchecked growth, they found it. The cottage. Abandoned, decaying, a relic of a bygone era, and conspicuously absent from any modern map or survey. It was as if the cottage had simply vanished from existence. Inside, a thick layer of dust coated every surface, and an eerie silence hung heavy in the air. And on a small dusty table sat an old tarnished music box, its presence strangely out of place. With bated breath, a detective carefully opened it. A delicate chiming melody filled the room, its notes echoing through the silent cottage. The melody, hauntingly familiar, matched the distinct sound isolated from Alara's audio file. The cottage was empty, seemingly untouched for decades, a forgotten time capsule, except for one unsettling detail. On the dusty wooden floor, a single fresh footprint stood out in stark contrast to the undisturbed dust. Too small to belong to an adult, it led directly out of the cottage and into the dense woods beyond. No other tracks marred the dust, no sign of a struggle, just the single solitary footprint. The music box's melody, the mysterious footprint, the audio file from Alara, all connected by an invisible thread, weaving a complex and perplexing narrative. The discovery of the cottage and its contents only deepened the mystery surrounding Alara's disappearance. The cottage, instead of providing answers, offered only a labyrinth of new questions, each more perplexing than the last. Alara's trail, it seemed, had led to the edge of the woods and then simply vanished into thin air. The case had been irrevocably transformed, infused with new life, but remained stubbornly unsolved. The truth, elusive and tantalizing, was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to be unearthed. What happened in those final 3 minutes? Alara turned onto Elm Lane at 8:19, her phone pinged near the mill at 8:28, and by 8:31, the music box's melody was recorded. She entered the forgotten cottage, opened the box, then walked out, leaving a single footprint. No evidence of anyone else, no sign of struggle. Did she meet someone? Was she drawn by curiosity? Or did she choose to disappear? Theories abound, but the facts are few. The yellow fabric, the audio file, the footprint, they feel deliberate, but their meaning is lost. Today, the case remains open, unsolved. Alara Vance is a legend, the girl in the yellow raincoat who vanished on a gray Tuesday. The final 3 minutes are a blank space, filled only by the haunting chime of a music box. The sound offers no comfort, only questions. The truth lingers, just out of reach, and Silver Creek still waits for answers. The story doesn't end with Alara's disappearance. In the weeks that followed, Silver Creek found itself haunted, not just by rumors, but by voices from the shadows. Witnesses stepped forward, their accounts strange and fragmented. Audio distortion, then a clipped recording. Witness 1, older woman, shaky. I saw her, yes, she was walking fast, almost running, but she wasn't alone. There was a man, I think, tall, in a dark coat, but when I blinked he was gone. Static, then another voice, young, uncertain. Witness 2. No, she was talking to herself, I heard her. She kept saying, "It's almost time," over and over, gave me goosebumps. Sound of papers shuffling, a police officer's voice. Detective Harper, transcript. Miss Vance's phone was active at 8:28 near the old mill, yet security footage from the only road shows no one passing by. How did she get there? Another snippet, tense. Witness 3. The lights in the cottage were on, but when I looked again, everything was dark. I heard music, not from inside, from the woods. Brief, unsettling silence. Then a police interview. Officer, reading. You're sure you saw her leave? Witness 4. Yes, but she left a note, or someone did. It was gone when I told the police. The evidence refuses to fit. Theories multiply. A staged disappearance, a secret accomplice, something stranger. Police logs note a footprint that doesn't match Alara's shoe size, and a second distorted recording of the music box, this time with a faint whispering voice beneath the melody. In the end, a single photograph emerges. It's blurry, taken on a disposable camera found near the mill. It shows Alara's yellow raincoat, and just behind her, a shadowy figure barely visible in the twilight. No one can say for sure what happened that night, but Silver Creek knows. The truth is tangled in contradictions, and the shadows still whisper her name. It's been 31 days since Alara Vance vanished. 31 days, and the file grows heavier. Every time I think I've mapped out the truth, another shadow falls across the page. Audio log beeps, the detective's voice earlier more hopeful. Audio log #17, subject Alara Vance, reviewing witness timelines, none align. Footage from the mill road, empty at 8:15, 8:30, 8 to 45 inches. But her phone pings at 8:28, she had to be there. So where's the missing time? 2 witness statements contradict each other. Mrs. Dalton saw a man in a dark coat, but Kevin says Alara was alone, talking to herself. Either someone's lying or there's something we're missing. A redacted report from the state lab, they found fibers on the raincoat. Synthetic, not from her clothes, not from the cottage. No source in Silver Creek matches this material. Why redact that? And then this, a charm. Small, silver, shaped like an hourglass. Found in the woods behind the mill. Not Alara's, no prints. The hourglass, same as the symbol carved on the music box. The music box recording, when isolated, there's a second voice. Not Alara's, not any witness. It says, time's almost up. Every clue circles back to time. The missing minutes, the hourglass, the phrase, it's almost time. But for what? And who's keeping track? I'm reopening the case. Because if there's an answer, it's hiding in these contradictions. And I won't stop until I find it. Music swells, then fades to a tense, lingering note. The screen flickers with the static of an old tape. A distorted, anonymous voice filters through. barely above a whisper. I saw her, the girl in the yellow raincoat, but she wasn't alone. There was a shadow, tall, thin, moving wrong. It followed her, step for step, but never touched the ground. When the clock struck 8:28, everything stopped. The air turned cold. I heard a music box playing somewhere in the dark. Then, she just disappeared, like she stepped through a crack in the world. The tape clicks off. Silence hangs in the air. The detective's voice returns, quieter now, tired, uncertain. I've listened to this recording 100 times, tried to trace the caller, no luck. Every lead runs cold. The facts don't add up. But the fear in their voice, that feels real. People say Silver Creek is just another small town, but there are stories here that don't fit in any file. Maybe Alara found something that night. Or maybe something found her. The case is still open. I don't know if I'll ever close it. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. They just linger, like a voice on the wire or a shadow at the edge of the light. And somewhere, a music box plays on, counting down the minutes to nowhere. Music fades to a single eerie note as the screen goes black. The screen fades in from black. Rain patters against fogged glass. The town of Silver Creek is restless. Windows glow late into the night, rumor and fear passing from house to house. Just when the case threatened to fade into rumor, a new voice stepped out of the shadows. At dawn, a local shopkeeper, eyes heavy with sleepless nights, came forward. Her words were quiet, but the weight of what she carried trembled in every syllable. I saw her that night. Alara. She was holding something, a small silver key. She looked scared. She asked if I'd seen anyone following her. I told her no, but there was a feeling, like something was waiting. The breakthrough came hours later. Behind a loose brick in the old train station, long abandoned, a police search uncovered a hidden compartment. Inside, a faded photograph of Alara, the same silver key, and a torn page from a journal. Scribbled across it, 8:28, the music box. Don't let it stop. All this time I missed it. The key, the music box. They're connected. And maybe so am I. My mother's handwriting on that torn journal page. She was the last to see Alara alive. As Silver Creek holds its breath, the truth draws close. Secrets buried for decades are clawing their way to the surface. And for Detective Lawson, the case is no longer just a mystery. It's personal. The shadow that haunted Alara may be closer than anyone imagined. The end is near, but what waits on the other side may change Silver Creek forever. A single desk lamp flickers in the dim interrogation room. The tape recorder clicks on. What follows is not a face, but a voice, distorted, trembling, urgent. The police transcript reads like a confession, but it's also a tapestry of secrets woven through Silver Creek's quiet streets. I wasn't alone that night, none of us were. Alara, she trusted the wrong people. We all did. The music box, it was more than a keepsake. It was a promise, a secret passed down, meant to protect, meant to warn us. But we let fear, greed, tear us apart. Static crackles. The confession deepens. You want to know about the key? It didn't just open the music box. It opened everything. Old wounds, old alliances. My father, he was there too, watching from the shadows like he always did. The night Alara disappeared, the whole town watched. Some turned away. Others helped her vanish. A pause. The voice breaks. I saw her run to the train station. I saw Mrs. Lawson, your mother, detective, waiting with the journal. I heard them argue. About what? I'll never know. But I saw the fear in Alara's eyes. I should have helped. Instead, I hid. Just like everyone else. The transcript ends with a final shuddering breath. We're all guilty. Not of what happened, but of what we failed to do. Silver Creek has too many secrets. Maybe this will set them free. As Detective Lawson lowers the transcript, the weight of generations presses in. The confession fractures the silence, revealing not just one guilty party, but a web of collusion, regret, and sorrow. Alara's story is no longer hers alone. It belongs to everyone who kept silent, and everyone who still carries the burden of that rain-soaked night. The truth, at last, begins to echo through Silver Creek. A muted sunrise creeps over Silver Creek as the forensic lab hums with anticipation. Gloved hands lay out the evidence on sterile trays, the music box, the tarnished key, Alara's faded journal. At last, the forensics team discovers something no one expected. A single fingerprint, pressed into the music box's hidden compartment, matching the main suspect. Cut to the police station. Another interview room. This time, the suspect's voice is clear, steady, but haunted by the weight of truth. The transcript reads, I thought I could keep it buried, that no one would ever find the key. But Alara, she trusted me, and I broke that trust. I never meant for any of this to happen. The confession is raw, undeniable. The evidence is irrefutable. As word spreads, the townspeople gather in the old assembly hall. Detective Lawson stands before them, the music box and journal on the table. The detective's voice echoes. After years of silence, Silver Creek deserves the truth. Alara's disappearance was not the work of a stranger. It was the silence of friends, the betrayal of trust, and the secrets we all kept. Faces in the crowd flicker with relief, shock, and tears. The final evidence binds the threads together. The truth, once hidden, now stands in the open, shining a light on the darkest corners of Silver Creek. And as the detective closes the case file, the music box plays its haunting melody one last time. The halls of Silver Creek are quieter now. The headlines fade, but the echoes of Alara's story linger in every whispered conversation, every hesitant smile between neighbors. The assembly hall, once thick with tension, now hosts gentle reunions and tearful embraces. The community, fractured by suspicion and grief, begins to mend, slowly, imperfectly, but together. Detective Lawson stands at the edge of the town square, watching as the people of Silver Creek reclaim their lives. Lawson's eyes linger on the music box, now silent, its melody a memory. In the detective's journal, a final entry. Some cases are puzzles, others are wounds. This one was both. We found answers, but we also found ourselves, changed perhaps, but not broken. One by one, the key figures in the story step into the light. The girl in the yellow raincoat's family plants a tree by the riverbank, a living memorial. The townsfolk gather, hands joined as petals drift on the water's surface. There are apologies offered, forgiveness sought, and promises made. To remember, to speak, to never let silence win again. As dusk settles, Detective Lawson bids farewell to Silver Creek, suitcase in hand. Yet, just as the detective turns to leave, a figure in the crowd slips a folded note into Lawson's pocket. Later, on the empty train, Lawson opens it. The message is simple, but chilling. You found the truth, but you haven't heard the last of the music. The screen fades to black, leaving behind a sense of closure, tinged with the haunting possibility that some mysteries, no matter how deeply buried, are never truly finished. Years pass, Silver Creek's wounds have faded, but not vanished. On the anniversary of Alara's disappearance, a trembling hand knocks at the police station door. Behind it stands Mrs. Calloway, a quiet widow from the edge of town. She carries a battered shoebox. Inside, a diary with a yellow ribbon, its pages warped by time. Mrs. Calloway's voice shakes as she explains, "I found it hidden in the attic behind the old rafters. It's Alara's. She must have left it during her last sleepover with my granddaughter." Detective Lawson, now retired but forever marked by the case, is called in. The diary's cover is etched with a single word, listen. As the pages turn, Alara's handwriting reveals a chilling narrative. March 12th. Someone is outside again. I see a shadow in the orchard when the moon is full. They know my name. They left a music box on the porch. March 17th. I hear them at night. Whispers through the walls. I tried to tell Mom, but she says it's just the wind. If you find this, look under the old elm. The answer is there, but you have to break the code. 253. Melody, silence, silence, echo. The final pages are a cipher, numbers and symbols looping back to the music box's tune. The police assemble a team. The transcript of their late-night decoding session is tense and fragmented. Detective Hash 1. 253. Could be notes or letters. Detective Hash 2. Melody, silence, silence, echo. Repeat the third note. Detective Lawson. No, listen to the pauses. It matches the music box's pattern. Detective Hash 1. If it's a message, what's it say? Detective Hash 2. Wait, if we overlay the notes with her classmates' initials. Detective Lawson. Stop, play the tune again, slower. The room falls silent as the music box melody is replayed, the code slowly unraveling. At last, a message emerges written in Alara's own voice. Trust no one. The watcher is someone you know. A cold realization settles. The diary's final entry, written in hurried script, reads, If I disappear, remember, it wasn't just him, there's another. The chapter ends with Detective Lawson staring out at the rain-soaked streets of Silver Creek, the diary clutched tight. The truth, once thought complete, is now fractured again. The watcher's identity remains unknown. The case file is reopened, and the shadow of doubt stretches long across the town. Was justice ever truly served? Or is the real story still hidden, waiting to be unearthed? The screen lingers on the diary's last page, a coded map leading somewhere no one has dared to look. Fade to black. The discovery of Alara's diary sent ripples through Silver Creek. Traveling. The rain taps steadily against the window of a dimly lit study, where retired Detective Samuel Grant sits hunched over a battered folder labeled Alara Monroe. Years have passed since he last touched the case, but something about the recent discovery of the yellow rain boot gnaws at him, a detail overlooked, a thread left loose. Grant's internal monologue, gravelly and weary, fills the air. I always knew there was more to this story. Too many dead ends, too many silences that spoke louder than words. The orchard, the east side, why was it never searched? And what about that boot, turning up miles from where we last saw her? He spreads out faded photographs, police transcripts, and a map of Silver Creek. His finger traces a red line connecting Alara's last known location to a neighboring town, site of another unsolved disappearance just 1 year earlier. Cut to Grant interviewing Mrs. Hawthorne, the school's former janitor, her eyes darting nervously. I told the officers what I saw that night. A car, headlights off, parked behind the gym, but they said it was probably just a teacher staying late. I never saw who got in, but I heard crying. A suspenseful police transcript plays, voices tense and quick. Are you saying the same make and model was seen near both disappearances? Yes, sir. Blue sedan, no plates visible. But both nights, there was a man in a yellow poncho just standing there watching. Did anyone follow up? I filed the report. That's all I know. Grant's voice returns, more determined. Something's not right. 2 girls, 2 towns, 1 car, and a man in yellow. Was he following Alara or leading her somewhere? The answers aren't in the files. They're in the gaps, the things we missed. He closes the folder, the room thick with the weight of new questions. The camera lingers on Grant's haunted expression, the rain outside now a relentless drumbeat. In Silver Creek, the past refuses to stay buried, and the hunt for the truth is far from over. Night settles over Silver Creek like a shroud. In her modest apartment, Detective Lawson sits alone at her kitchen table, the glow of a single lamp illuminating stacks of case files and her weary face. Her hands tremble as she flips through old notes, haunted by the faces of the missing, the echo of unanswered questions. Lawson's voice, raw and vulnerable, breaks the silence. Every lead feels like a loop, back to the beginning, back to Alara. What am I missing? What did he see that I can't? She glances at her reflection in the dark window, the rain blurring her features. Maybe I'm not the right one for this. Maybe the past is too heavy to lift. Suddenly, a sharp knock at the door jolts her from her thoughts. On the floor, an unmarked envelope slides through the gap. Lawson hesitates, heart pounding, before tearing it open. Her breath catches as she reads the words scrawled in jagged ink. "Stop digging or you'll end up like her." The paper slips from her grip. The threat is real. The fear is real. But beneath it, something else ignites, a stubborn determination. The camera lingers on Grant's haunted expression, the voices tense and quick. Are you saying the same make and model was seen near both disappearances? Yes, sir. Blue sedan, no plates visible. But both nights, there was a man in a yellow poncho just standing there watching. Did anyone follow up? I filed the report. That's all I know. Grant's voice returns, more determined. Something's not right. 2 girls, 2 towns, 1 car, and a man in yellow. Was he following Alara or leading her somewhere? The answers aren't in the files. They're in the gaps, the things we missed. Lawson's voice hardens. They want me scared, but I owe Alara the truth. I owe it to all of them. As she gathers her courage, her phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. A single image loads, a grainy photograph of the orchard, time-stamped just hours ago. In the corner stands a figure in a yellow poncho, watching. Lawson's eyes widen. The past isn't just haunting her, it's reaching out closer than ever. The camera closes in on her face as realization dawns. The hunt has just become personal, and the next move could cost her everything. The rain has not let up, drumming on the roof of Silver Creek's aging town hall as the community gathers under flickering fluorescent lights. Rows of anxious faces, neighbors, friends, and strangers, fill the cramped room, their voices a low, uneasy murmur. At the front, Detective Lawson stands beside the police chief, clutching the unmarked envelope and the latest photograph. The mayor's gavel cracks through the noise. Mayor, voice trembling. We're here because we demand answers. The threats, the disappearances, what is being done? A hush falls as Lawson approaches the microphone, her voice steady but her hands shaking. Lawson. We have new evidence. A photo taken just hours ago. Someone is watching. Someone wants us afraid. A woman rises from the crowd. Alara's mother. Her voice breaks as she speaks. Alara's mother. My daughter trusted this town. She trusted you. Why is the truth still just out of reach? The chief reads from a freshly transcribed police interview, the words echoing off the walls. Chief, reading. Witness statement, 9:47 p.m. I saw someone in a yellow raincoat by the orchard. They didn't move, just stood there, watching. I called out, but they vanished into the trees. I know what I saw. I'm not the only one. The crowd stirs, fear, anger, and confusion swirling together. Another neighbor, voice wavering, steps forward. Witness, we're all scared, but we can't let fear silence us. Not again. Lawson looks out over the sea of faces, her own resolve reflected back at her. The questions hang in the air, heavy and unanswered. Lawson, softly. Who is the watcher in the orchard? What secrets are we still missing? And how far is someone willing to go to keep the truth buried? As the meeting dissolves into heated whispers and anxious glances, the camera lingers on the envelope, the photograph, and the faces of a town forever changed. The rain intensifies, pounding against the windows as the mystery deepens, leaving Silver Creek and the viewers with only one certainty. The story is far from over. As the first light breaks across Silver Creek, the rain finally ceases, leaving the town washed clean beneath a gentle sunrise. The camera pans over quiet streets, the once ominous orchard now bathed in gold, dew sparkling on every leaf. Detective Lawson stands at the edge of the orchard, her coat draped over her arm, the mystery finally unraveled. The watcher in the yellow raincoat, revealed in the confession as a grieving friend, haunted by guilt and unable to step forward, has been found, and with them, the truth of Alara Vance's fate. Alara, lost in a moment of fear and misunderstanding, had sought refuge in the orchard that stormy night. In the aftermath, her final diary entry, discovered in the attic, revealed her longing for freedom and her hope that her story would inspire honesty and courage in others. The townspeople gather in the square, candles in hand, faces illuminated by both flame and the hope of a new beginning. Alara's mother steps forward, her voice steady, filled with both sorrow and gratitude. Alara's story will not be forgotten. Her light lives on in each of us, as a call to protect, to listen, and to love. Lawson, her eyes bright with tears, places the yellow raincoat over an empty chair, a symbol of remembrance and forgiveness. The townspeople join hands, a circle forming around the chair, united in grief, but also in healing. In the final moments, the camera rises above Silver Creek, the orchard, and the town hall. As the sun climbs higher, at the center of the square, a new tree is planted, Alara's favorite. A blossoming magnolia, its roots a promise that, even after the darkest storms, hope can grow. The screen fades to white, the music swells, and a single line appears. For Alara, for Silver Creek, for every new beginning.